What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel, and today what I got here is the FuriBee Bison 150. It is the 150mm micro FPV racer bind and fly version with the FrSky D8 receiver. Now this D8 FrSky receiver is sporting a new antenna with an IPEX connector, similar to that of the FrSky XM receiver. So that is something new. Now the frame of the Bison is a squashed X-frame configuration, so the wheelbase from front to back is shorter than from side to side. So the front to back wheelbase from shaft to shaft is measuring in at around 101mm, whereas from side to side it is measuring in at around 120mm. And diagonally it is measuring in at 150mm. So hence FuriBee Bison 150. So let's go ahead and put this baby on the scale. I have everything ready to fly except for the battery strap. I have the props installed. I also have the zip tie to hold the antenna, as well as the pagoda antenna for the VTX. So let's go ahead and bring out the scale. All right, so let's go ahead and put it on the scale and throw in the battery strap as well, and it is measuring in at 197 grams. All right, so let's go ahead and measure up the carbon fiber frame, and it is coming in at right around 3.9, so 4mm unibody carbon fiber frame, and the side plates are coming in at right around 2mm. This one's measuring in at 2.1mm. And there's also a top plate as well. So let's go ahead and measure the top plate. And the top plate is, oops, I'm grabbing onto something else right there, is measuring in at right around 2mm as well. So the motors that come with the Bison 150 are the DYS Race Edition motors, and it is the 1806 2300 kV motors with the titanium alloy hollow shaft, and we are given some 3052 Gemfan flash props. Now the flight controller is the F4 Omnibus flight controller with built-in Betaflight OSD, and it is pre-flashed with Betaflight 3.2.0 firmware, and we do have the LED and the buzzer support as well. The ESCs are the 4-in-1 BLHeli-S 28 amp D-Shot ESCs preloaded with BLHeli-S 16.7 firmware, so it should have no problem handling 4S batteries. Alright, so the camera is a 600 TV line CCD camera with a field of view of 160 degrees, and it is sporting the 2.1mm lens with the NTSC system, and we are also given a VTX that is mounted directly behind of the camera itself, and it is a 48 channel 5.8 gigahertz VTX, and it is switchable from 25, 100 to 200 milliwatts, and there is a single button to change all of that. Short pressing it will change the channels. Long pressing it for 2 seconds will get you into the frequency changing mode, and another long press of it for about 10 seconds will get you into the power changing mode. All right, so here is everything that came in the box. We had a bag of goodies in which it contained 2 Velcro straps, one yellow and one red, in which the yellow one I've kind of used already. And we also get a wrench and another receiver harness, as well as some screws. And we were also given 2 sets of these Gemfan 3052 tri-bladed props, in which there were the clear ones as well as the black ones. I've kind of abused the clear ones already. They're not bent or anything, it's just that they're kind of scratched up, so I replaced them with these nice shiny black ones just for this occasion here. And we are also given an instruction paper in which there's the flight controller pin out, so that is awesome. And this time around, unlike the FuriBee Geniuser, they have elected to choose the 5-volt BEC for the RAM pins. And little down the line, we have the receiver configurations. for everything else, PPM, iBus, and the DSM, as well as the S-Bus receiver and how-to. And on the opposite side, we got the how-to on the video transmitter as well, and all of the light configurations for channels and the frequency as well as the power output. And this is the box that everything came in, nicely branded with some gold embossing with some checker design, and the quadcopter was nestled inside of that foam, nicely protected. All right, so I've had the opportunity to check out the FuriBee Bison 150 for the last couple of days. Took it out to the field, did some line-of-sight flights as well as some FPV flights, and that is the reason why these clear props are a little bit scratched up. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of that footage. All right, we are just about ready to go with the FuriBee Bison 150, and we got some battery choices over here. We got a couple of 3S batteries, Infinity 850 70C, and we got some Tattoo 650 75C 4S batteries. And if that is not enough, I got a couple of 850 Tattoo 75C 4S batteries as well. Got my jumper remote ready to go, so let's go ahead and check it out with a 3S 850 for the line of sight test first. Okay, here we go with the 850 milliamp 3S Infinity battery. So let's go ahead and arm it and check it out. My very first flight with the Bison 150. Did a little hover test to make sure everything is working in the garage, but haven't flown it yet. So this is basically the maiden flight of the Bison 150. Beautiful day out here in the desert. There's a little whistling noise coming out. It's flying pretty good. Now this thing has just about the same internals as the FuriBee Geniuser, except that the frame is different and the motor is different as well as the VTX and the camera. Pretty nice so far. So far so good. So let's do a little punch out. Oh man, the punch out with the 3S is kind of lacking in power. Yeah, that's a little disappointment here. Okay, let me try that out again. That is it. That is my full blast throttle. Yeah, maybe this thing is made for a 4S. Wow. It's very agile. It's going to be a pretty good FPV flyer for sure, I think, in tight quarters. Okay. And the lights in the back is staying kind of bluish in color. All right, let's see if I can do some flips with this thing in acro. Here we are in acro, and it feels very loose with this jumper remote. All right, so let's check it out. Whoa. Whoa, try that again. Woo-hoo-hoo, bounce off the ground. Gotta get used to this baby. There is not enough power in the 3S. Kinda gotta get used to this lack of power. Woohoo! Very fast flip with this jumper remote. There's a little loop there. Okay, starting to get used to it here. All right, there we go. Kind of got the hang of it now. Very small stick movements with the jumper remote as opposed to, let's say, my Taranis QX7 or the 7S. There you go. You know, every quadcopter has its own characteristics. They're not all the same, even though you're using the same remote control. All right, I'm gonna flick it back over to acro mode and do a final little fly about. I don't have a timer, so let's go ahead and bring it in before I run the battery dry. All right, I'm just gonna land it right here and shut off the motors. All right, so that's our first flight with the FuriBee Bison 150 line of sight 3S 850mm. Okay, here we go with our first ever FPV flight with the Bison 150. Got a 3S battery, the same Infinity 850mm 70C battery. Let's go ahead and arm it and check this baby out. Okay, we got great video for sure. And with this jumper remote, I do have the distance. I got it set to that 150 milliwatt. And with this new D8 receiver with the longer XM-like antenna, we should get pretty good distance here. So let's just get the feel for this quadcopter. Kind of smooth, not really locked in at the moment. And I got the Beta Flight defaults. See the power of the 3S. Yeah, it is slightly lacking in power with this 3S. So you need to get a little bit of height to do maneuvers, feels like, and there's a slight wobble around the turns as well. But very smooth so far. Right here, I'm throttling up to about 70% to get out of that dip. Yeah. You need to do a little bit of fine tuning on this baby here. But so far, you are able to fly it. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, it does have a dip. So you do need to throttle up with a 3S. Nice quick flips. I have to slow down the flips because the flips are just too fast. And this D8 receiver should be pretty good with this nice long antenna. So I should be able to go pretty far with it, especially with this jumper remote. So far, I'm liking it. It's just that it has a lack of power. And maybe it's due to this jumper remote. I'm not quite used to it, throttling up this much. All right. Our first FPV flight with the Bison 150. And so far, it is feeling a little wobbly and a little weak with the 3S battery. But very smooth. Yeah, kind of drifty a little bit. So definitely need to be tuned a little bit better. All right, so let's go ahead and bring it in for a landing. We've got a pretty decent amount of flight time with the 850 milliamp here. And we can still go for a little bit longer. Let me bring it down low and just kind of cruise around just a little bit here. Yeah, very promising though. I can't wait until I put the 4S on here and see what it does with the 4S. Okay, let's go ahead and bring it in. All right, our first FPV flight with the Bison 150. Pretty decent. Okay, now we got the 4S 650 milliamp battery in here, so let's go and check it out. Arming it. Hopefully we have a little bit more oomph with the 4S, and it does feel like I got a little bit more oomph right off the bat. Yep, it's a scooting a little bit faster. Yep, got a lot more power than the 3S for sure, but not really to blow me away. Let's do a little punch out here. Ready, and that is the full out punch out with the 4S. I mean, it's not that bad, but I've seen some of the other 3 inches do about the same with the 3S battery. So with these bigger motors, I thought it was going to be like out of this world, but it's right around there. But we did get some height on that one for sure, so we will see a lot of hang time with the 4S on this one. And let me see if I can do some, okay, can do some flips with this one. I know what to expect now a little bit, getting used to the sticks. Yeah, and this one has more oomph just to get out of the droppage right after the flip. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Line of sight acro is always have been difficult for me. So there we go. That's a pretty good one there. And there you go. Kind of getting the hang of it here. All right, let's go ahead and bring it in and do a little FPV flight with the other 650 milliamp 4S. There we go. All right. All right, here we go with our second FPV flight, but this one is with the 4S. So let's go ahead and check it out. I got another 650 milliamp Tattoo 4S battery, so let's go and see what she can do. Oh yeah, much better. I feel a little bit more locked in a little bit, but still a little wobbly here. But I can feel a lot more power. Definitely needs to be tuned, and yep, what happened there? I had a little fail-safe situation there. Oh my goodness, and I wasn't that far away. So even with the long antenna, sometimes this thing will give you problems just out of the blues. Let me see if I can reconnect with it and bring it in. Hopefully the props are not bent or anything, so let's go ahead and bring it in. Yeah. Doesn't feel like the props are bent or anything. So I'm just gonna keep flying. Oh man, I didn't go that far, right around here. What happened? Now I'm going far. Okay, let's see if that occurs if I go a little bit further down. Huh. What is up with that? Just out of the blues. Now I'm afraid to punch it in case I drop from the sky instead of just dropping from a low level altitude. Okay, but so far now, back to the testing phase of the 4S. Yeah, we got a lot more power with the 4S for sure, and I'm able to power up without any droppage. So that is just about it on the flight time with the 650 milliamp. Look at that. My voltage level is slowly dropping, so you're not going to get that much flight time with the 650. So this baby here would probably benefit from the 850. So let me go ahead and change out the battery because the voltage is going down rather quickly, and we've only been flying for about 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and bring it down. All right, so that was our initial second FPV flight with the 4S 650 milliamp battery. All right, here we go with another 4S battery. This time around, I got the 850 milliamp size battery tattoo. So let's go ahead and test it out with that battery and see what kind of flight time we get out of it. All right, arming. Hopefully we get a little bit more flight time out of that one, because that 650 milliamp ran out right around 2 minutes. Yeah, we do have enough power with the 4S for sure. I'm still running the defaults. And there is a little prop wash at the end of the turn. Oh, that was a quick turn. Yeah, so I don't know what happened with the droppage there when I lost connection with the 650. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get a pretty decent amount of flight time with the 850. We're hovering right around that 15.0. So this FuriBee Bison is meant to be flown with the 4S. Yeah, because that 3S battery did not provide enough power. Okay, we are right down to the 14.5. So it's about time to bring it in. But it has slightly risen back up. So even with the 850 milliamp, you're not going to get a ton of flight time with this one here. So we're approaching the 3-minute mark, and we're still doing good with the battery here. Yeah, hopefully I don't get a droppage right here. So I'll take it out to the end of the field. Maybe this was just a fluke. Yeah. I don't want to go flying above the concrete. You don't want to smash onto the concrete. Okay. So this is our third FPV flight, and it was with the 850 milliamp 4S Tattoo 75C, and she's got enough power for sure, and the flight time is manageable, right around 3 minutes. Yeah, with a little bit of punching around, and she's flying pretty smooth with stock PIDs, but you can go ahead and tweak it to your liking. Yeah, just flying around. She's doing pretty good actually, out of the box. good as can be expected. All right, let's go ahead and bring it in. And we got almost a 4-minute flight time. Some of it cruising, of course. All right, so that is our third FPV flight with the 4S battery for the BISON 150. All right, just got done checking out the FuriBee Bison 150 line of sight as well as some FPV flights. It did pretty decent. Used the 3S Infinity 850 milliamp battery. With the 3S battery, however, the Bison 150 does not have enough power, in my opinion. You can just cruise around with the 3S battery, but ultimately the Bison 150 requires a 4S battery, and I've flown it with the 650 milliamp. It does have the power, but it does not have the flight time. It only gave me slightly over 2 minutes of flight time with the 650 milliamp battery. Now with the 850 milliamp battery, it is perfect. Now, so this quadcopter requires a 4S battery and somewhere around the 850 milliamp battery as well. So I don't know what happened on my second FPV flight where I used the 650 milliamp battery and I wasn't that far away and it had a little fail-safe and it just dropped to the ground. I was able to reconnect and take off again, but I'm not sure what's going on there. And I did go all the way around the edge perimeters of this park on the next flight, and it did fine, no problems there. So I'm not sure what was going on over there. So there you have it, guys, my test flight and review of the FuriBee Bison 150. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next time.
Bit by bit, creative imagination